I was the only man in a house full of women who called everything girls only. So I stopped paying their bills and watched them turn into strangers overnight. And now they're begging. I'm 29. Only son, 3 sisters, mom, 2 aunts. Growing up, I learned quick that being the guy meant I was the help, not the family. It started small. Girls' movie nights, then girls' brunch, girls' spa days. Every weekend, something new. Zoo trips, dinner reservations, even a baseball game. I'd see the group chat photos, all of them laughing, posted with captions like, family time and blessed with these ladies. I'd leave a thumbs up and act like it didn't sting. But here's the thing. When rent was due, I was family. When cars broke down, I was family. Phone bill overdue? Suddenly, I'm the favorite son. I've been covering $800 rent for my mom every month for 3 years. That's $28,800 if you're counting. I am now. Middle sister needed car insurance. $240 monthly. I handled it for 18 months. Youngest sister got laid off. Paid her rent for 4 months straight. $3,400 total. Never asked for it back. Never threw it in their faces. Just helped. Because that's what family does, right? Wrong. Last month, I'm scrolling Instagram and see my aunt posting shopping bags, beach towels, sunscreen, new sandals. Caption, getting ready for the annual trip. Annual trip. The beach house we've rented together for 5 years. The one I book every time. The one I put down the $2,200 deposit for. I checked my email. Confirmation sitting right there. Beach house, June 14th, 21st. 5 bedrooms, ocean view. Charged to my card. Reservation under my name. Nobody told me we were going. Nobody asked if I was free. They just assumed I'd pay and stay home. I logged into the rental portal, stared at that cancellation button for maybe 10 seconds, then clicked it. Removed my card. Deleted my account. Didn't tell anyone. Next day, mom texts, "Hey, something's wrong with the beach house payment. Can you check?" I replied, "I checked. Canceled it. 3 dots. Then, what do you mean canceled? I mean, I'm not paying for a vacation I'm not invited to. Radio silence for 2 hours. Then the group chat exploded. 6 messages in 90 seconds. You're being dramatic. It was supposed to be a surprise. We were going to tell you. This is so unfair to everyone. I screenshotted every Venmo request from the past 2 years. Rent payments, car notes, utility bills, emergency vet visits, grocery money when they were short. $47,000. $47,000 in 24 months. I posted it in the group chat with one line. Girls only expenses. Oldest sister. That's different. We needed help. Me. And I needed to be included. Her. You're acting like a child. I didn't respond. I just opened my phone carrier app and canceled the family plan. All 5 of their lines. Cut them off mid-argument. It cost me $340 monthly. Not anymore. That was Tuesday. By Thursday, I had 12 missed calls and 8 voicemails. Ignored them all. Friday morning, there was pounding on my door. It was my oldest sister. No makeup, hair in a messy bun, sweatpants, and an oversized hoodie. She looked exhausted. She said the power got shut off at mom's house. Turns out I was the co-signer on the utility account. When I removed myself last week, they didn't catch it until the automatic payment failed. She said they'd been calling. Said they didn't know I was this upset. Said they thought I understood it was just a girl's thing. I asked her, "When's my birthday?" She blinked. Didn't answer. It's September 4th. I turned 29 3 months ago. Not one of you called. But I sent mom $800 that week because she said she was short on rent. Remember that? She looked down. I pulled up my phone and showed her the Instagram post from my birthday. All 6 of them at brunch. Mimosas on the table. Caption, nothing better than sister time. They'd gone out on my birthday. Posted about it. Never mentioned me once. My sister looked like she wanted to say something but couldn't find the words. Then her phone buzzed. She looked at the screen and her face went white. I asked what happened. She turned the phone toward me. A text from my youngest sister. 4 words. She took the money. I didn't understand at first. Then she explained. The $3,400 I sent over 4 months to cover my youngest sister's rent after she got laid off, her landlord had just called. Not a single payment had ever been made. I stood there staring at my oldest sister's phone screen. Those 4 words just sitting there like they weren't about to blow everything up. She took the money. My oldest sister's hand was shaking. She said the landlord had been trying to reach our youngest for weeks. Said he finally called her because he found her number listed as an emergency contact. Said if payment didn't come through in 48 hours, he was filing eviction paperwork. I felt this weird calm wash over me. Not anger, not shock, just this cold, clear understanding that I'd been funding a lie for months. I looked at my oldest sister and said, "Get out." She opened her mouth like she was going to say something, then closed it, turned around, left. I closed the door, locked it, and stood there for a minute, just breathing. Then I pulled out my phone. I didn't respond to any of the family's messages. I scrolled past all of them. The apologies that weren't apologies, the deflections, the "can we just talk about this" texts that never actually addressed what happened. I went straight to my contacts and found the landlord's number. My youngest sister had given it to me months ago when she first asked for help. Said it was in case I ever needed to confirm payments went through. Funny how that works. I called him. He picked up on the second ring. I explained who I was, said I'd been sending money to my sister for rent, asked if any of it had been received. He didn't even hesitate. Not a dollar, he said. I've been trying to reach her for 6 weeks. Sent 2 notices. She hasn't responded to either. I asked him to send me screenshots of the notices and his call log. He did, right there. 3 minutes later, my phone buzzed with PDFs. Official documents, dates, timestamps, everything. I thanked him and hung up. Then I opened my banking app. I went back through 4 months of transactions. Every transfer to my youngest sister was there. Cleared, completed. The money left my account every single time. $850 on the first of each month, like clockwork. I screenshotted every one, added them to a folder on my phone I labeled receipts. Then I opened the PDFs from the landlord and added those too. I called my youngest sister. It rang 6 times, then went to voicemail. I didn't leave a message. I just texted her one line. Your landlord told me everything. I watched the text turn from delivered to read within 30 seconds. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again, then nothing. She didn't respond. 2 hours later, my phone buzzed. Venmo notification. I opened it. My youngest sister had sent me a request. $200. The memo read, gas money from last year. I just stared at it. This was her move. Reframe the conversation before I could corner her. Make it look like I owed her something. Like we were even. Like none of this mattered because, hey, I forgot to pay her back for gas that one time, right? I declined the request. Then I opened Venmo again and sent her a counter request. $3,400. Memo, rent money, never paid to landlord. I hit send and put my phone down. 4 minutes later, it buzzed. She'd rejected it. I screenshotted both transactions, her request, my counter, both rejections, added them to the folder. Then I sat back and waited. That evening, my oldest sister showed up again. I heard the knock and knew it was her before I even checked the peephole. I opened the door. She wasn't alone this time. Middle sister was with her, both of them standing there looking like they'd been sent on a mission. My oldest sister started talking immediately. Okay, so I talked to her, she said. And look, it's more complicated than— Stop, I said. She stopped. I asked her flat out, did she pay the landlord or not? Oldest sister hesitated. It's not that simple. She had other things come up and she was going to— I cut her off again. Yes or no? She looked at the ground. No, but you don't understand. Her car payment was overdue, and her phone bill, and she thought— I held up my hand. I sent her money for rent. Not a car, not a phone. Rent. Middle sister spoke up for the first time. You never told her it had to go directly to the landlord. I looked at her. Actually looked at her. I sent her $3,400 for rent, I said slowly. And you think I needed to specify that rent money goes to rent? She didn't answer. My oldest sister jumped back in. Look, she made a mistake, okay? But you're making this so much bigger than it needs to be. She was going to pay him back once things stabilized. When? I asked. When was she going to stabilize? Month 5? Month 6? When was she planning to tell me she'd been lying for 4 months straight? My oldest sister's face tightened. She wasn't lying. She just didn't what? Didn't think I'd find out? Silence. Then my oldest sister said, you know what? You're being completely unfair. She's family. We don't turn our backs on family over money. I laughed. Actual out loud laughter. You're right, I said. We don't turn our backs on family. We just exclude them from every family event, forget their birthdays, and then show up at their door when the lights get turned off. My oldest sister's jaw clenched. That's not fair. Neither is stealing $300-400 and then Venmoing me for gas money. I stepped back and started closing the door. We're done here. My oldest sister put her hand on the door. Wait, move your hand. She didn't. Please, just listen for a second. I looked her dead in the eyes and said, move your hand. She pulled it back. I closed the door, locked it. Heard them standing there for a few seconds, then footsteps, then nothing. I went back to my couch and sat down. My phone buzzed. Middle sister. Just one text. I think what she did was wrong. I read it 3 times. First honest thing anyone had said. I didn't reply. That night, my youngest sister finally surfaced. Long text. Paragraphs. I'm talking essay length. It started with, I need you to understand, and went downhill from there. She said her car payment had been overdue for 2 months, and if she didn't pay it, they were going to repo it. She said her phone bill was in collections. She said she had to choose between keeping her car so she could get to job interviews or paying the landlord. She said she was going to catch up with him once she got back on her feet. Then came the kicker. Last line of the text, I didn't think you'd ever find out. Not I'm sorry. Not I should have told you. Just I didn't think you'd get caught. I screenshotted it, forwarded it to the group chat with no comment. Just dropped it in there like a bomb and watched. Nothing for an hour. Then my phone started ringing. Mom. I let it ring. She called again. I put my phone on silent. 3 hours later, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. It was Mom. She was crying. I mean, full-on sobbing. I could barely understand her. She kept saying, "What did you say to her? What did you say?" I asked her what she was talking about. She said my youngest sister had called her in hysterics, said I'd been sending her threatening messages, said she was scared of me. I felt my stomach drop. I asked Mom what messages. She said she didn't know. My youngest sister wouldn't show her, but she was terrified and didn't feel safe. I told Mom to hold on. I opened my texts, pulled up the entire conversation with my youngest sister, read every single message out loud, word for word. The landlord confirmation. "Your landlord told me everything." That was it. That was the whole conversation from my end. One text, 7 words. Mom went quiet. I could hear her breathing on the other end. Then she said, "That's it?" I said, "That's it. You want screenshots?" She didn't answer. I asked her if she wanted to know what the landlord told me. She said yes. I told her every detail, the $3,400, the 4 months, the 0 payments, the eviction notice. Mom didn't say anything for a long time. Then she said, "I'll call you back," and hung up. She didn't call back that night. The next day, I found out through my cousin, the only family member I actually still talk to, that Mom had been 2 months behind on rent before I ever canceled anything. My cousin said Mom had been covering it with credit card cash advances, just swiping her Visa at the ATM, pulling out $400, paying part of the rent, and hoping next month would be better. She'd been carrying a balance she never told anyone about. My cousin said the $800 a month I was sending wasn't even enough to begin with. I sat with that for a while. It didn't make me feel guilty. It made me realize the whole thing was a house of cards. Nothing I paid was ever fixing anything. I was just delaying the collapse, keeping everyone afloat long enough for them to book another girl's trip and forget I existed. I leaned back in my chair and just stared at the ceiling. Felt like I'd been playing a rigged game for 3 years and only just now saw the dealer's marked deck. That afternoon, my phone buzzed. Instagram DM, my aunt. She didn't even pretend to care about anything else. Just, "Hey, just wanted to flag that your mom's utilities are still off. I know your name might still be on the account, so thought you should know." I read it twice. Then I logged into the utility company portal, checked the account. My name had been removed the same day I canceled everything. I screenshotted the account page showing I wasn't listed, sent it to my aunt, left her on red. But here's the thing that really got me. That same week, my youngest sister made a move nobody saw coming. She contacted the landlord herself, told him that I was supposed to be paying the rent directly, and that she never received the money. Told him I'd been sending it to her, sure, but that I was meant to send it to him, and that the whole thing was my fault. Basically tried to flip the script and make me the villain. The landlord didn't buy it. He'd already talked to me, had screenshots of my bank transfers going to her account, had records of me calling him to confirm 0 payments were received. He didn't argue with her. He just forwarded her message to me with a subject line that said, "FYI, thought you'd want to see this." I opened the email and read her message. It was wild. She really tried to tell him I was the one who messed up, that I'd been irresponsible with the payments. I forwarded it to my cousin. She replied within 2 minutes, "Jesus Christ, she's really trying to blame you?" I didn't even respond. I just saved the email to the folder and kept moving, because at this point I wasn't angry anymore. I was just watching the whole thing collapse in real time like some kind of slow-motion car crash. 2 weeks later, the landlord issued the formal 30-day eviction notice. My youngest sister lost it. Full meltdown. She posted in the group chat framing it like a family emergency. Used the word "we" like it was happening to all of us. "We need to figure this out. We can't let this happen." Like she hadn't spent 4 months pocketing rent money and lying to everyone. Someone, I think it was my oldest sister, suggested they all pool together to cover the back rent. She asked everyone how much they could contribute. The chat went dead silent. I'm talking 10 minutes of nothing, not a single response. Then my aunt finally replied, "I can maybe do $50. $50. The same woman who'd been posting hauls from Target and Old Navy every other week. My oldest sister didn't respond at all. My middle sister sent a sad face emoji. That was it. My youngest sister sent a voice memo. I didn't listen to it. I already knew what it sounded like. Crying, begging, blaming everyone except herself. Nobody sent anything. Not $1. 3 days later, my oldest sister and my youngest showed up at my door together. I saw them through the peephole. Youngest looked like she'd been crying for a week straight. Oldest looked like she hadn't slept. I opened the door but didn't step aside. My youngest sister started talking immediately. "I'm sorry," she said. "I'm sorry I didn't handle it right." I looked at her, didn't say anything. She kept going. "I know I messed up. I know I should have told you, but I'm about to lose my apartment and I cut her off. "What did you spend the money on?" She froze, looked at my oldest sister, looked back at me. "What?" I repeated it slower. "I sent you $3,400. What did you spend it on?" She looked down at her shoes, didn't answer. I waited. She said, "Different things." I nodded. "Different things. Got it." Then I stepped back and started closing the door. My oldest sister put her hand out. "Wait." I looked at her. "We're done," I said. Closed the door, locked it. My youngest sister started crying. Loud. I mean loud enough that I could hear her through the door. Loud enough that neighbors opened their doors to see what was going on. I didn't move. I just stood there on the other side of the door, listening. My oldest sister said something I couldn't make out, and then I heard footsteps. They left. I went back to my couch and sat down. My phone buzzed a few minutes later. Unknown number. Text said, "You need to stop punishing your family over money." I stared at it. Didn't recognize the number. Didn't know who sent it. I blocked it and moved on. 2 weeks after that, my oldest sister called me. It was late, almost 11 p.m. I almost didn't pick up, but something made me answer. She didn't sound angry. She sounded flat, exhausted, like someone who'd been running on empty for too long and finally hit the wall. She said, "Mom's staying with me now." I didn't say anything. She continued, "And so is..." She paused, then said our youngest sister's name. She just moved in after the eviction went through. I asked her why she was telling me. She said, "I'm not asking you to fix it. I just want you to know what it actually feels like." I waited. She kept talking. "I've been buying groceries for 3 people on a salary that barely covers 2. I can't afford to go out anymore. I canceled my gym membership. I'm eating rice and canned beans most nights because that's what's left after I pay for everything." She let out this bitter laugh. "I used to resent you, you know." That caught me off guard. I asked her what she meant. She said, "I thought you were the favorite because you got to be the provider. I thought it made you special. I thought Mom loved you more because you had money, and we didn't." She paused. I could hear her breathing. Then she said, "Turns out that wasn't a privilege. It was just you getting used." I didn't know what to say. We stayed on the line for a while, neither of us talking, just breathing. I could hear the TV in the background at her place, some late-night show, laugh track. Eventually, she said, "I'm not calling to ask for anything. I just needed you to know that I get it now." I said, "Okay." She said, "Okay," back. Then we hung up. Around that same time, my middle sister started distancing herself from everyone. I didn't notice at first, but my cousin mentioned it. Said middle sister had stopped showing up to family stuff, stopped replying in the group chat. I asked what was going on. My cousin said she and her boyfriend broke up. They'd been together for like 4 years. I didn't even know they were having problems. Turns out it had nothing to do with me or the money or any of this. Her boyfriend later told a mutual friend, someone we both knew from high school, that she'd been emotionally unavailable for over a year. Said every time he tried to talk to her about their relationship, she'd shut down or change the subject. Said she was always stressed about family drama, always on the phone dealing with someone else's crisis, always putting everyone else first. He said he felt like he was dating a ghost. The breakup would have happened with or without any of this, but it meant she was now dealing with her own collapse while the rest of the family was falling apart. And for the first time in her life, she didn't have anyone to dump it on. A few days after my oldest sister called, I found a letter in my mailbox. Handwritten, 2 pages. My mom's handwriting. I recognized it immediately. She has this very specific way of writing lowercase g, where the tail loops twice. I stood there in the parking lot of my apartment building and read it. She didn't ask for money. She didn't make excuses. She said she'd been thinking about the Instagram post, the one from my birthday where they all went to brunch without me. She said my oldest sister told her I'd brought it up and that she'd gone back and looked at it. She said she remembered that day, remembered suggesting they invite me, remembered my youngest sister saying, "It's just a girl's thing," and everyone agreeing. She said she didn't push back. She said she should have. Then she wrote, "I didn't see how invisible I made you. I didn't see it until you were gone, and now I can't unsee it. I'm ashamed, not of the situation, of myself." She signed it. Mom. No love, Mom. No XOXO. Just Mom. I read it 3 times standing there in the parking lot. Then I folded it up, put it in my pocket, and went inside. I didn't call her, but I didn't throw it away either. A month passed. I stopped checking the group chat. I stopped looking at Instagram. I just went to work, came home, went to the gym, watched TV, slept. Repeat. My life got quieter, smaller, but also lighter. I wasn't carrying anyone anymore. I wasn't worried about who needed what or when the next Venmo request was coming. I was just existing for myself. It felt strange, but good. Like when you finally put down something heavy you didn't realize you'd been holding. Then my cousin called me. Said Mom did something nobody told her to do. She'd called the utility company herself and set up a payment plan. She was making $150 monthly payments to cover what she owed. My cousin said Mom had sold some old furniture on Facebook Marketplace. Sold some jewelry she had sitting in a box in her closet, stuff from my grandmother. She used that money to set up the plan and make the first payment. I asked my cousin why she was telling me. She said, because she didn't tell anyone. She didn't ask for help. She just did it. My cousin paused, then added, "Oh, and she turned down your aunt's offer to help." I asked what offer. My cousin said my aunt had offered to help out with the bill, which really meant loaning her money and holding it over her head forever. Mom said no, handled it herself. I didn't say anything. My cousin said, "Just thought you should know," and we hung up. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't some big redemption arc. It was just quiet. Just Mom doing something on her own without my name attached to it. First time in years. I didn't call her, didn't text her, but I thought about it. Thought about what that must have taken. Thought about what it meant. Around the same time, I found out from my cousin that my youngest sister got a job, part-time, overnight stocking at a grocery store. My cousin said she was working 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. 4 nights a week and giving my oldest sister $200 a month for rent and groceries. I didn't find this out from my family, didn't see it posted anywhere. My cousin just mentioned it while we were talking about something else. She said, "Oh yeah, and apparently," and then told me. I didn't react much. It didn't undo what she did. It didn't make me forgive her, but I filed it away, noted it, kept moving. 2 months after everything imploded, my mom texted me, asked if I wanted to meet for coffee, just the two of us. I didn't respond right away. I sat on it for a day. Then I said okay. We met at this diner near her place. She was already there when I walked in, sitting in a booth by the window. She looked older, tired, but also different. More present, maybe. I slid into the seat across from her. She didn't make small talk, didn't ask how I was doing. She just pulled out a folder and slid it across the table. I looked at her. She said, "Open it." I did. Inside was a handwritten budget, 2 months of tracked spending, every dollar accounted for. Groceries, gas, utilities, the payment plan she'd set up, everything. It was imperfect. Some of the numbers didn't quite add up. Some of the categories were messy, but it was real. She said, "I didn't want to sit in front of you and say I'm changing without being able to show it." I looked through the pages, saw line items like coffee, $4, and laundry, $8. Stuff she'd never tracked before, stuff she'd never thought about. I looked up at her. She was watching me, waiting. I closed the folder and slid it back. "This is good," I said. She nodded, didn't smile, just nodded. We didn't talk about the money I'd given her, didn't talk about the beach house or the birthday or any of it. We just sat there and drank bad coffee and talked about normal stuff. She told me about a show she'd been watching. I told her about a project at work. It felt weird, but also okay. When we were done, we stood up and she hugged me. Not a quick side hug, a real one. The kind that lasts a few seconds and actually means something. I hugged her back. We walked out and went our separate ways. A week later, I got a notification from the beach house rental site. I'd completely forgotten I'd even had an account there. The notification said my refund had been processed. $200, full return. I'd canceled within the window without realizing it. I stared at the notification for a second. Then I opened the site and started browsing. Found a different beach. Smaller place. No ocean view. 1 bedroom. Cheap. Available the same week as the original reservation. I booked it. Didn't tell anyone. The week came. I drove out alone. 4-hour drive. Windows down. Music loud. I got there around 3 p.m. The place was nothing special. Older building, kinda run down, but it was right near the water. I dropped my bag inside, grabbed a beer from the cooler I'd brought, and walked outside. There was a plastic chair on the little concrete patio. I sat down, cracked the beer, and just looked at the water. My phone had been basically silent for days. No group chat messages, no missed calls, just me. It felt good. I sat there for maybe an hour just watching the waves. Then my phone buzzed. I almost didn't check it, but I did. It was the group chat. My oldest sister had posted a photo. I opened it. It was Mom and my youngest sister sitting at my oldest sister's kitchen table, playing cards. Just the two of them. No caption, just the photo. I looked at it for a second, typed a thumbs up, sent it, put the phone face down on the plastic table next to me, took another sip of my beer, and went back to the water. Thanks for watching till the end. Make sure to like and subscribe to not miss the next story.